Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another oil painting, and it's actually based on this photo that I took while my fiance and I were vacationing in Venice, Italy. I also have a watercolor that I did while sitting on the bridge that went over the canal. So I'll link that down below and in like an iCard on the screen. So go check that out if you want to see that watercolor video. But you should seriously watch that video because it was super awkward to paint on that bridge with the amount of foot traffic that went over it. Fair warning, that was one of my older videos, so the video quality is maybe a little rough. So with all of my oil paintings that I do in this particular style, and it's like a vague impressionistic style, I start with my own version of an underpainting, and this just helps me color block, and it also helps me make sure there are no white spots underneath the painting. I do this with like a really thinned out oil, and I use mineral spirits to thin my oil. It dries pretty fast. After that, I'll go in with my paints and I'll just start putting the color down where I want it. And a lot of the times when I first start, it doesn't look like what it's going to end up looking like. It can look really, really rough. So I'm a firm believer that pretty much all of your art goes through a really awkward, ugly stage in the middle. At least all of my art goes through this awkward stage where you're just like, man, this looks awful. I want to give up on this. Like, if you were to take this painting right now, it does not look fantastic at all. But if you keep working on it and you don't give up on things, sometimes they turn out pretty well. I think that's one important thing if you're someone who's trying to improve your art, is to know when to give up on pieces and when not to give up on pieces. A lot of times I see younger artists get really discouraged in the middle of a piece when it's just not turning out the way they want it to, and they just give up and leave the piece. And sometimes that is the right choice, but a lot of times maybe the piece could be salvageable if you work through it. And this is not saying that you'll love every piece you make, but it's just saying that like there is something valuable in working through the ugly duckling stage that a lot of artwork goes through. And like, let me be clear, I know that this painting is definitely in an ugly duckling stage right now. I was actually pretty afraid to start this painting, and also I'm kind of afraid to share it because this is my first oil painting where the main focus is really buildings and architecture, especially in this very loose style that I'm painting in. And I really just didn't know how it was going to turn out. And all throughout this painting, I was like, man, am I just wasting my paint? I don't know if this is going to turn out good. And at the end, I kind of like it. It's okay. I'm happy with it, and I'm happy that it represents a good memory of when I was traveling abroad. And I think that that's something really important for artists to remember, is that you don't always have to be amazed by every piece that you make. For instance, there are some really wonky bits to this painting, but I think the important thing is that I learned from this painting. And if you're doing paintings that you're not sure of and you want to stop in the middle, stop for a second and be like, hey, what can I learn if I finish this painting? And I learned a little bit here about how to paint buildings and how not to paint buildings, and overall I'm pretty happy that I completed this painting. Even if some of the perspective is a little wonky. I'm looking at you building on the right. Normally I'm much better at architecture. I'm gonna blame it on my inexperience with the medium. But I should tell you guys what medium I'm using. I guess I'm using oil, but I'm using a little bit of the Winsor & Newton classic oil. And I'm also using some of the Georgian water mixable oils. I like that the Georgian water mixable oils can be mixed with the classic oil painting, and the difference between those is one is supposed to be able to be cleaned up with water, the water mixable ones, where classic oils you need a mineral spirit or like a paint thinner of some sort to clean it up. I like that you can mix them together because I decided that I liked oils and I wanted to move into classic oils pretty much immediately after trying the water mixable ones. But I do just clean everything up with odorless mineral spirits. I think it gets my brushes a lot cleaner. So I've talked a little bit about what I don't like about this painting, but let me share the favorite thing about this painting with you. I love how the water turned out. I think the water in Venice is just incredible. It's so hard to capture, especially in a piece of artwork, how the water in Venice actually looks. It's just a really unique color, and it's different in some different parts of the canals, depending on how deep they are and how much sunlight they have. But I really like how this turned out and how the light is kind of reflecting through the buildings. And if I had stopped midway through the painting, like I was tempted to, I would have never gotten to paint the water, and that turned out to be my favorite part of the painting. So that's one good thing about finishing this painting, is there is something that I really love about it, and that's how the water looks. But that's just about all for this painting. They're small, so they go pretty fast. I hope that you have enjoyed watching this. I hope that my motivational speech was inspiring and has inspired you to maybe not give up on some artworks that you're not thrilled with. But here's how the painting looked at the end. I did take a photograph of it. I do like it. I like how it turned out. And if you liked this video and you want to see more, I have more on my channel. One should be popping up on your computer screen about now. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic day.